The other side can't ignore me. They just wanna join. Stay loyal and change up. Maybe you should flip a coin. They got the trophy waiting for me where I'm going. Put that banner up. The skills here are so intact. I travel to the future when I step back. Hang time like the dock and you might be stacked. But to stop what we got, man, you might need Shaq. They think our confidence is arrogance, but that's just fact. Destiny yelling how we look if we don't scream back. We are cream of the crop, the top tier. That's why they beating on the drums, cause the champs in here. Yeah. Oh, just look at this piece. Yeah. We were never getting on our level. We go here, we would never settle. Trophies raised high here, we call it heavy metal. Giving no breaks, feet on the pedal, top three. Up for any challenge you bring. See the results of the last group that challenged the team. Efficiency is high when you challenge the ring. Matter of fact, hold this L and clean. You deserve it. We don't just dominate, we serve it. No guesswork here, we certain. You see the wins and start flirting. We put a ring on it, where's the curtains? Ready. You got me saying I'm hungry. Just look at this piece. You were never getting on our level. We go here, we would never settle. Trophies raised high here, we call it heavy metal. Giving no breaks, feet on the pedal, top three.
Associate with people who aren't sick to their fucking stomach about what's happening in Palestine and Lebanon. If you're going about life and you don't have a pit in your heart about what's happening to these people throughout the world, we're living in different realities and I don't relate to you.
I don't know why that lagged like that. Maybe it's this stupid computer. I don't know. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Good Faith Show. I'm your host, Andre Morton, and the Good Faith Show is exclusively on the ATP Network. You can catch the ATP Network on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, and Twitter. And I got a couple of shameless plugs. Support Trina. She's trying to find a new place. She's, I wouldn't say she's in a desperate spot, but she needs help. She got a few dollars to spare. $ right there. Her cash tag down there on the ticker. K Brunstein 4, and also to help out Ty Peasant, please, guys. Like, she's a mother. She has 2 kids. She's working, as y'all know, but you work these jobs. They don't pay enough to live, so everybody needs help. So donate to her cash app right there, Liz 4285, and also too, I got a podcast, Real Recognize Real, available on all major podcasting platforms. And also, too, guys, like the video. I need to start saying this more often. When you like the video, we get more views. So, thank you to all that watch us so far. I can't believe it's been almost 6 months since we started doing this network. Hopefully next year, I hope the other team members, hopefully they can do shows themselves. So, I won't be on this fucking microphone all the damn time, because I'd rather be behind the scenes, man. Like, I love doing this, but I don't want to be on here all the time. You know what I mean? Like, let Provolone cook, let Damien cook. You know what I mean? Yeah, and let Left Independent. He's a new member of the ATP Network, so I want them to cook. Like, I'm pretty sure those 3 have way more intellect and insight than I do. I'm just a fucking idiot. A fucking black ape behind a microphone pretending like he know everything. I don't know shit. I'm not no fucking revolutionary, guys. Okay? I know y'all think I'm crazy. Y'all probably think I'm crazy, but I'm not no revolutionary. So yeah, man. That video short, but people kind of stopped talking about Palestine a lot. I noticed that. It's been over a year, and I talked to a couple of comrades, and they say that they see no path to Palestinian liberation, and that's their opinion. Me as a very low self-esteem guy, something got to happen, man. This shit just can't be happening. Like women and children getting like it's X-rays of kids with bullets in their heads, y'all, from the IDF, probably IOF too, and probably the Israeli. I mean, what they call them? Israeli settlers, like shooting them innocent kids. Why? You know what I mean? So yeah, y'all, man. Like, keep talking about Palestine, man. Like, I know I get it. Luigi, I know that's been a big spark in the news lately, and rightfully so. A lot of people that I probably would never fucking talk to, like, I'm talking about political wise, like, I wouldn't say I'm talking to them, but, we agree on this issue with healthcare, so, yeah, so, what I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to talk about the UHURU 3, are free, and that's good news. I'm going to talk about what I did yesterday, time. I'm going to talk about it again, this time more peacefully and less profanity as possible. I'm not going to even mention the guy's name anymore. He's not relevant. And also, I got a few more. I think I got a video to play, and also I'm talking about selected outrage around, healthcare and stuff. Substack article by JB. So that should be an interesting article to read. So, okay, guys. So I'm going to start with myself. I'm not no prize, right? Yesterday, y'all. This video is from today, and so I know. Hold on. There you go. Oh God, my ugly ass face. Yeah. So guys, I, maybe I think thinking about this for a while now, like, maybe I didn't communicate. Maybe I need to communicate better. I don't know. Maybe this guy that I'm not cool with anymore. He claimed that he was confused with the how the podcast goes, but the first 2 episodes of Under the Willow Tree, he was a no show. Under the Willow Tree supposed to have me, him, and Willow, right? It's supposed to be 3 people, but I want it to be just, I want those 2 to cook. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm doing this. Like, I do a lot of shit, y'all. Like, this shit takes time. Like, I love it. I'm helping Willow. I love Willow. I'm helping her out. I promised her. I'm going to help her do a podcast. She has a lot to say. Everybody got a lot to say. That's why me and Ty Pleasant try to encourage people to, start your own shit. Show podcasts, whatever. Like, because, independent, corporate media ain't shit. And so, yeah, like, the problem is I'm not mad at him starting another endeavor with 2 other people. What I'm mad at, what I was mad about is that he fucking said it is not being produced well. Like, that's what I'm mad about. Like, my thing is, if he thought he could have produced it better, I would let him. I would let him do it. Like, let's work for me. Then all I gotta do is show up, talk behind a microphone, and we'll be good. But he just chose to show his ass. And then, how can you say for 1 minute that it's not being produced well? He could do it better. Then on the other minute, then he appreciate what me and Willow doing. Like, we doing a good job. Like, that talking out on the both sides of your mouth. You know what I mean? So, I'm gonna play this video, guys. Then I'm gonna pause it. So, good morning, guys. I know last night wasn't my greatest hurrah. I admit that. That's not me. Like, I'm not a toxic person, and my intent was not to be toxic. My best friend, the co-host, the co-founder of the ATP network, she want me to, like, use this as therapy sometimes. Like, just let it out, be raw and uncut. And I was raw and uncut. Yeah, I was raw and uncut, but you know, these days you want to say whatever you want on social media, but even Twitter and Rumble, like you got to be careful. Like yesterday, I wasn't too involved in uncut, but yeah, like I just fed up, man. Like this guy, I understand he got issues. I don't know if it's in the video as well, but I'm gonna play it, then I'm gonna pause it. You know. I've been holding back for a long time, with this particular person. Like, I understand this person got past issues and stuff. Like, he been going through stuff. And, as I thought we were friends, but I guess that's over now, right? He just wasn't honest. And, I know this sounds kind of corny, but honesty. I mean, I guess to his credit, he didn't want to hurt my feelings and Willow's feelings because him and Willow was really tight. But my thing is that you got issues, you do other stuff like music and stuff. Then why in the fuck? Like seriously, like see that would make me real mad. Like I don't know why people do this though. Like not just him, but other people do this to me too. I'm like, you don't want to do this shit. Like this shit is not easy. Like finding words to say. This shit is not easy. And a lot of people, rather be on Twitter shit posting. Like that's their thing. I'm not a shit poster on Twitter. I tweet stuff, but it's not shit posting. It's just tweeting out facts. So like I tweet out Gaza stuff, which to be honest with you, I'm not trying to be an asshole number. Everybody should be tweeting something out about Gaza at this point. Like these people need our help. I'm getting overwhelmed with fucking with DMs from Palestinians asking for my help. And I'm just only one guy here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be mean, but y'all need to start retweeting my stuff. Like, not all my stuff. Y'all ain't got to retweet nothing else I post. Just retweet the Gaza stuff because, like, shit getting real, y'all. It's getting real. So, I mean, it's been real, but you know what I'm saying? Like, these people need help. So, you see, y'all rather, for me, I'm not trying to be, a pain in the ass, but y'all rather for me to come on camera and call people out his name, call this guy his name, which I didn't. I didn't call him out his name, but I'm never gonna call him out his name. The guy was a nice guy. I mean, like I'm not gonna say his name. I don't want to say his name, but I mean, he didn't do shit to me, But I'm like, he did this shit before. He was a part of the ATP network. I'm trying to get this network off the ground. It's hard. I get it. People got stuff, obligations. I get that. I'm a very relaxed guy. My thing is up front, if I ask you to join a network or join, or maybe, a group or anything like that, tell me what you can do and can't do. Like, maybe I can be a part-time contributor. Like, that's fine. Like, that means you won't be on here every week. That's fine. Maybe every other week or once a month. You just don't fucking, when it's time to do a podcast, motherfucker look at the damn text, but then respond. Like, he did that shit too. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? But let me continue, man. Like, I'm trying not to get heated, but just thinking about it pisses me the fuck off. The right policy. Like, if I'm willing to be alright with you, I want to return. I want you to have the same energy I have in terms of honesty. It's not like I'm going to, rip the guy into a new one because he don't want to do it. Like, my thing is, don't say things to make me happy. If you actually are not able to do it on a bi-weekly basis, I mean, it's bi-weekly though. Just say, hey, Andre, I don't want to do it with you and my cousin. That's all. Like that. I mean, that's all. It's just that hard to do. And then he decided he wanted to do another. You want to go on another network, podcasting network with a couple of his friends. That's fine. I'm not mad at that. That's good. I'm happy for him. Like, we need more. Ty Peasant said this herself. Like, we need more people speaking through the power. And I think he's legitimately real. I mean, I can't judge a man's heart. I hope he's real, right? I mean, he makes music. His music is okay. It's decent music. He's basically speaking, maybe, to his credit, he maybe he don't want to do a show, but he do his music. Music is just as powerful as me. Well, I'll say Provolone and Liz and um, Damien, but they more powerful than me. But you know, everybody has a gift. People have a gift of talking, and people have a gift of music. So yeah, man. Yeah. I don't want y'all to get misconstrued. I'm not mad at that. What I'm mad at is what he said was kind of a smear. That really really bothered me, man. I wouldn't say it hurt me. It bothered me. He said that he want us on the network with his people, and he said it could be better produced with him than me. All right, that yeah, that's too far. That's a bridge too far. Now, if he just said, maybe I shouldn't have shared his voice message. I guess, yeah, that's toxic energy right there. I maybe I shouldn't have done that. You know, then Provolone, I had her waiting. I just wanted just to say how I felt. Like we were supposed to do after dark that night, but I told her I'm sorry. She, she okay, but so yeah, I'm like if you just said that, hey, I got an idea. Maybe let's do the Under the Willow Tree segment on your new podcast. I mean, I wouldn't but when you said something is poorly produced, that gave me an idea that you don't want to do. That gives me an excuse. That gives you an excuse to say I really don't want to do it, and you could have just said from the jump I don't want to do it. But we continue. Apparently, he don't know how podcasting works. Podcasts are not highly producible content. It's not like making a mini video on fucking YouTube. It's just a group of people talking. That's all. Even Joe Rogan's is not highly produced. Yeah, his setup is he got multi-camera setup. You don't need to heavily produce a fucking podcast. The fuck. But besides that, he taking a shot at me. Apparently, I'm not a good job at producing this. All I do is just add an intro and upload it. That's all I do. That's all you got to do. It's so easy. Yeah, but producing you can produce anything. I'm producing a show right now. I'm controlling the camera angles. It switch my video, make me bigger or smaller. But just keep some stuff you could keep to yourself. I like me telling. That's like me and him work on music together. Then I tell him I better produce music than you. But you do a good job though. But I do better. Too much information, man. TMI. Just TMI. Somebody could do a podcast. Come on. But you don't need no special equipment to do a podcast. But this guy, he showed his ass. I hate to say it like that. That's so awkward. Oh God. But hey, people do show their ass. Sound kind of weird, but that's what people always say. Show your ass. He showed his ass. He showed you how you really feel. We ain't good at. We beneath him, I guess. We beneath him. He gonna do it with these other two, and they gonna do it segment wise, which I don't know about that. I never did it like that before. I know people do segments on a show, but I never heard about doing segments on a podcast. But people do things. Experiment new things. But to this guy, I'm gonna delete the video on my Twitter account, the live stream, because I don't want that to be a thing on me, because the Twitter left is already it's already a handful as it is. I should have said that Twitter left is got some messy ass motherfuckers in there. I should have said, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the people that probably hate on me but supposed to be my allies saw that, and they probably sent it to him, and he probably ripped me in a new one, and he probably ripped Willow in a new one too as well. Willow let him off pretty easy compared to me. I ain't gonna tell you what she said because I want to violate her privacy, but she let him off pretty easy. And I did too, to be honest with you. But it's out there in the elements now. When you say stuff, you can't take it off the air. And I didn't say nothing to demean him, to defame him. I'm just angry at him, fucking me over. He fucked me over, man. With the ATP network, he fucked me over. He did, because he said he wanted to do it, and he never wanted to be bothered. That's not smart. And then with this, I thought, hey, stuff transpired on ATP network. Shit happens. Starting a new network ain't easy, but maybe he's a good guy. Like, if he wasn't a good guy, why would I work with him? You know what I mean? But I mean, this is disappointing though, man. Like, I hate I have to come out and do shit like this. Like, I'm wasting my time making a video about this guy, which he don't never gave a fuck to begin with. Like, only thing he give a fuck about what he do, which is fine. It's his own. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he wasted my time, which make me waste time for like Palestinians. Like I could have been like promoting Palestinian mutual aid on Twitter and other shit, but I'm fucking talking about him. So I got a few more minutes left, so I'm gonna delete it. But I'm not apologizing for what I said because I really didn't smear you. So I was angry at what you did. Like, things could have been done better. Like, okay, I'm gonna say this: the first 2 episodes, dude, we thought you were gonna join us, me and my cousin. It's the 3-person podcast. It's not 2 people. You didn't want to do it, apparently. Like, you just could have said, "Hey, I don't want to do it." That's all you could have said. Like, even my cousin, she wasn't mad at you. Like, we understand you got issues, dude. We get it. I got issues too. Yeah, he got issues. I'm not gonna say what his issues is because I'm not a messy guy to spread that out. You know what I mean? But I got issues as well. Like, I'm autistic. I get anxiety. I get depressed. Like, I got issues too. I'm trying to work out my issues. But at the end of the day, telling me in Willow that I don't want to do the show to begin with, when we asked him, we came to him and said, hey guy, do you want to do the show? And he said, yeah, I do it. But what he should have done is either say, no, I don't want to do it. Or 2, should have said, I do it, but on a limited basis. Because also, too, he said that he's always not up to it, which, first of all, it's every other week. Like, it's not every day. Like, I mean, sorry for the light, guys. That's better. I'm just sorry for the light. Oh, I need another ring light, bad. But I'm just, this is the last time me talking about this. I don't want to talk about him no more. I don't want to talk about this shit no more. I want to move on. I'm not gonna let this guy get me down. See, this is the shit that the messy people on Twitter want. They want me beefing and acting a fool on there and cussing him out. And I'm not gonna do that. I didn't cuss him out in this video. I didn't call him out his name. I was, because he never called me out my name. Maybe he did behind the scenes. People do shit behind the scenes. I've been hearing some things about what people be saying about me behind the scenes, but I can't prove it. I mean, people say shit to cause mess. I'm a grown ass man. I don't have time for games, bro. Like, I feel like this guy playing games with me and Willow. It really feel like. I'm not sitting on here this video saying I'm fucking perfect. I'm not. I'm far from perfect. I wish I was a better friend to my friends, man. So yeah, man. Like, I'm hurt. I really am. I said earlier I'm not hurt, but I'm hurt by this. Like, I thought we was boys. Yeah, I'm hurt in terms I thought we were friends, but I ain't studying that shit, man. Like, man, I thought we was tight. Like, we were supposed to hang out, and I supposed to make a documentary about you and stuff. I guess that's over. So, best of luck on the new podcast you doing with your other 2 friends, man. Like, I wish you nothing but the best. Like, real talk. I'm not if you watch this or not, I don't care. But, Andre, don't wish no ill will on nobody. Because I don't want no karma to come back on me. So, alright, guys. I had to come out with this video. Last night wasn't Andre. That was the demonic side of Andre, which should never come out. So, and also, too, shout out to Ty Peasant for being there beside me, man. She been there with me when I have times like this. I don't want to come out and roast people, but sometimes it's kind of appropriate. So, shout out to her, and thank you guys for listening to me if you watched this video this far. Have a good day. Sorry for the lag at the end. I don't know. StreamYard, man. They gotta do better. So, yeah. Where do under the Willow Tree podcast go from here. As of right now, Willow, she's real sick right now. Apparently it's COVID. I don't know. So she's not able to, do much of nothing. And we were supposed to do an episode last week, but when she found out she got COVID, she didn't want to do it. Understandably so when you sick. I don't know. I hope Willow does it. I mean, I continue to do it with her. I mean, I kind of like it. First 2 episodes. I should have been more organized, but yeah. I want to continue to do it. I can't let one bad apple spoil it for the whole bunch. Like you just can't do that. So yeah, y'all. I mean, this is the last time I talk about it. I'm done. Like a lot of y'all, probably watching this, seeing the video, and one like, what in the hell going on? Like, people, man. Working with people is not easy. I get what Ty Peasant was saying when she said that there's some people online that is workable, but I disagree with that. It's not. It's not. Like, a lot of these people aren't serious online. Like, a lot of people just, I hate to say this, but a lot of people just clout chasers. Most of them. Maybe, yeah, Ty Peasant, she willing to work online, like work with, make a group online. Like, that's cool. Like, but everybody's not like Ty Peasant. You see what I'm saying? This is why JB and RBN be telling people, like, go out into your own community. And, I get it, too. Like, people in your own community be bullshitting just like people online. Like, there's just too many deeply unserious people online, man. Like, and anyway, I just grew out of Twitter. Like, I used to enjoy Twitter, too. Like, I used to enjoy it, but Elon just ruined it. And so, yeah. I'm about to get to the next story. Guys, I'm back. Be sure to hit the like button on the video. It helps us out in the algorithm. If you're on YouTube and Rumble, please hit the like button. And also, if you're watching on Twitter, be sure to subscribe to the ATP Network. Y'all on YouTube and Rumble and Twitch. Like, you get more content. You get clips, you get posts when we go live and stuff like that. So, yeah, just a FYI. So, this is a good uplifting story right here, man. Like, the world is just so bleak, man. Like, you feel like, can the left ever get a win? Like, we got 2 wins in 2024. Like, let's just keep it 100. With the Luigi situation and now this. It says from Fox 13 Temple A. It says 3 UHURU group members given no jail time and no fine after September conviction. Here's I'm gonna play this right here.
Members of the UHURU movement are claiming victory tonight after the sentencing of the so-called UHURU 3. They were convicted over the summer of conspiring to act as unregistered Russian agents. Fox 13's Aaron Mesmer is...
Russian agents because... Oh, okay, so they're Russian agents because they criticize the U.S. government. Like, pretty sure I'm a Russian agent. The ATP network crew of Russian agents. Anybody else that's against capitalism, against, the weaponization of people. Yeah, we're all Russian agents. So, just FYI. I'll let it play.
Live in Tampa. What was the sentence, Aaron?
Well, Linda, first of all, the defendants didn't think they should have to spend a single day in prison, and a federal judge agreed. If that unified chant didn't make it clear enough what UHURU supporters wanted, the group's chairman, Amalia Shatella, summed it up.
Not one day, not one dime.
Meaning no prison time and no fine for the so-called UHURU 3. And they got what they hoped for, a federal judge.
Y'all see how he did the so-called UHURU 3. Oh, shut up, man.
Sentenced
Media.
the 3 defendants to 36 months of probation, 300 hours of community service, but no time behind bars.
We're not instructed by the Russians, we're instructed by our history.
Not according to the U.S. government. Federal investigators accused Yeshitela, Penny Hess, and Jesse Neville of working with the founder of the anti-globalization movement of Russia when they petitioned the UN in 2015. The petition said the U.S. was actively committing genocide against African people. U.S. officials said Yeshitela...
That's true. You good? Yeah. The United States is a shithole country, and the reason why is because we destabilize and colonialize other countries that don't even mess with us. Like, I know y'all remember Head of State when Chris Rock said, leave those people alone, damn it. Like, we need to leave those people alone. Why are we committing acts of violence and terror, murder against... Oh, I know why we doing it. Destabilization and resources. So, here we go.
Pella and Hess then used $12,000 from the same Russian agent to carry that message around the country.
Their political goal was to use the foreign agent charge to deny the legitimacy of the Black liberation movement when we criticized the U.S. government for its treatment of African people.
Prosecutors also said Russian agents offered campaign finance help to Neville when he ran for St. Pete mayor in 2017. In September, a jury convicted the UHURU 3 of conspiring with Russian agents, but acquitted them of the more serious charge that they were acting as agents of a foreign government. The UHURU say they were
That it's an assault, a major assault on the First Amendment.
Investigators have said this case was part of a broader...
Freedom of speech. What happened to freedom of speech? I thought we had freedom of speech in this country, right? What the UHURU 3 did was not conspire, not being... so they Russian agents were telling the truth. Okay. Yeah.
Russian scheme to interfere in American politics. The UHURUs deny they were involved, and they believe...
Well, that's why I hate this fucking country, bro. They accuse Russia and China and other countries of interfering and shit, and we do the same motherfucking thing. Like, we interfere in everything, bro. United States is not the world police. My God, man. Oh God, this is so infuriating. Like, very, very infuriating. But there we go. What's up with StreamYard today, man? Hell,
the judge's sentencing backs up that claim.
Today he saw that that these are people that have been doing this work for 50 years. Their positions have not changed.
And despite today's sentencing, the UHURU say they still plan on appealing the conspiracy conviction. Linda.
All right, Aaron Mesmer reporting live for us tonight. Thank you.
Okay, guys. So we've seen a video. Now I'm gonna read it. It says 3 members. I'll make it bigger. Hold on. I always got to make it bigger because y'all, if you watch it on your phone, it's kind of hard to see.
Welcome back. You know, right now, most of us have the tray up, right? But
there you go. 3 members of the UHURU group will spend no time in jail after a sentencing hearing Monday at the Tampa Federal Courthouse. O'Malley Yeshitela, Penny Hess, and Jesse Neville, a 2017 candidate for St. Pete mayor, were given 36 months of probation, 300 hours of community service, and no fine. Wow. 36 months of probation. Wow. It should get none of that shit because they didn't do nothing. All for the conspiracy charge. Okay. UHURU group leader spoke during a press conference after the sentencing hearing. It says, UHURU chairman Yeshitela says, this 2-year fight has been a testament to the resilience of the people involved with the UHURU group. All of you, we couldn't have come this far without you, and I have so much appreciation. We've got people who come here from everywhere, across all kinds of political and ideological spectrums, Yeshitela said. 3 members were convicted back in September of conspiring with Russian agents. They were acquitted with the more serious charge of acting as agents of a foreign government. Yeah, I mean, they have no evidence of them being foreign agents, so why sentence them? You know, why give them fucking 36 months of probation? Like, yeah, they need. I hope that shit comes off their record too. It says the U.S. government claimed the UHURU group conspired with the founder of the anti-globalization movement of Russia. Prosecutor founder Aska Sanda, I got his name wrong, was funded by the Russian government and successfully encouraged the 3 UHURU defendants to petition the UN in 2015. Each suspect was facing 5 years in prison. So, yeah, guys. So that's that story right there, man. That is such a feel good story, man. After what I've been through with somebody, the UHURU 3 deserve freedom, man. They're supposed to be free. Well, after freedom of speech, like, you couldn't prove them acting as foreign agents, and that conspiracy charge is fucking bullshit as well. But yeah, kudos to the UHURU 3, man. We all need to be like them, man. Like, let's stop bickering online, arguing over petty bullshit, and fucking change the world. Do mutual aid. That's what UHURU 3 does too. They do mutual aid as well. So yeah, on to the next story. All right, guys. Next story here is from JB Substack. I guess his Substack name is JB Front Stream of Consciousness. It says the selective outrage around healthcare. Okay, yeah. It says, gotta make this bigger too because the words is kind of small. There we go. There you go. He says, I noticed how Piers Morgan and 2 of his guests were outraged at the death of Brian Thompson, even though he's an agent of the system that oversaw the deaths of thousands of Americans. But will they be okay with the death of Putin or Assad, even though they're heads of systems as well? Brian Thompson contributed to the deaths of thousands of innocent people, just like when we say George W. Bush murdered 1 million Iraqis. Bush may have not directly killed them, but he gave the orders. Whether it's murder via gun, pen, murder is still murder. Yep, Brian Thompson murdered legally a lot of tens of thousands of Americans that's trying to get health care, like get treatment, medical treatment, And also, too, Brian Thompson, in my opinion, devastated a lot of family lives because, if you head a household and you die because you're not healthcare says we're gonna deny your claim, he had decimated family members as well. Brian Thompson is no different. That's the guy right there. He looked like an NPC. They're fine with systemic state violence, but when people want to end the violence by the state and desperately take matters to their own hands, they're baffled. It's only okay if they go through the proper channels, even though these proper channels keep a violent and exploitative system in place. Brian Thompson oversaw the deaths of a myriad of people compared to Luigi. Luigi was a privileged kid who saw how the sausage was made and couldn't stand it. So how do you think those of us who are poor and or marginalized feel? Yep. Like I always say, when the wealthy, the middle class and upper middle class feeling the same results that poor people feel, yeah, that's when shit gets real. Like, this is why we need class solidarity. This is why people keep saying time and time again about class consciousness. Like, we have a lot in common, unless you're the top 1%, and that's a different story. They have no right to say anything about promotion of violence when every single year millions of Americans sit around a table and celebrate a lato with turkey. Exactly. This nation committed the genocide of millions of Native Americans, but we believed a lie because we didn't want to accept the truth of what happened and reconcile that truth. This is who we are. Yep. Like, yeah, I know that story about Thanksgiving. I'm not going to get into it. That's Luigi right there. Luigi is my hero. Here's the point. Many of these media outlets and politicians are to blame. Why? Because Brian Thompson will still be alive if we had a single payer healthcare or nationalized healthcare system. Keeping for-profit healthcare in place is dangerous for the working class. But surprise, it's now dangerous for the 1% as well. Yeah, because if you're a CEO and you see what happened to Brian Thompson getting murked, yeah, I'm pretty sure your security detail has increased. If you push people too far, they will take drastic action, and it will keep happening as long as this system is in place. The greed of the wealthy will cause them to choke on their aspirations. So yeah, and also too, y'all subscribe to JB Substack. It's pretty good. He got some good articles on there for you to read. yeah, JB is 125%. You know, when people only have a certain amount of toleration that they can take. I wouldn't say they can take, but they can like endure. Then once that toleration is met, like shit, like what Brian Thompson happened, like and it happened to Brian Thompson today. Who knows who else it could happen to? Like, and you think these CEOs will maybe change their ways, but again, like CEOs are legally obligated to be beholden to their shareholders. If they're not making profit, they out ski. So, I really hope this energy with the health, like saying how fucking disgusting this healthcare system is. I hope it continues because shit always tends to die off. It's just a cycle, I'm pretty sure the top 1% are hoping this shit die off, and but everybody that's not on the top 1% got fucked over by healthcare one way, shape, or form. Like, y'all know my story about my dad, my mom, me as a young boy. Like, my mama couldn't even afford an ambulance. Like, so my play auntie, she's not really my auntie. My play auntie had to come from work, drive over to our house, pick me up, and my mama up. I was a little baby then, and drive us to the hospital because I had an allergic reaction to peanuts. So yeah, people are fed up, So on to the next story.
Here you go. All right.
Okay, guys. Next story I want to talk about is climate change. Climate change, man. Climate change is real. If people are still denying climate change, then like, real talk, something is seriously wrong with your brain, man. You need to get your mind checked. You need a psychiatric evaluation or something, because like, it's December and where I live at is 70 degrees. Now, it usually supposed to be like in the mid 50s, at least low 60s, because this is the South, and typically the sun is more closer to us, so we feel it. It feels more warmer. When it could be a cold breeze, but when the sun come out, it feels more warmer. So yeah. This video is from Second Thought, and he's talking about why the government is bad on climate change, and it's a lot of reasons. I'm pretty sure he breaks it down. Second Thought, shout out to them. They do an amazing job on this stuff. I don't know how they do it. Like, the research you got to put into this stuff. This is why I don't want to play the whole video, because, they should. Go on Second Thought's YouTube channel and you find this yourself. He said, why government is worse on climate change. If you're on the left, you understand why the government is inactive on climate change. Like, we all know, like, it's the money in politics. Until we get the money out of politics, nothing will change. Nothing will change on the federal level. Really, to be honest with you, if you into voting, like a lot of people into voting, like they spend their time and energy on voting, which is fine. Like, I think it's other ways of doing things, but hey, everybody got their own path, to victory. So my thing is, vote on the local level, man. Like, it's, local elections matter more than national elections anyway. But climate change is a world issue, not just a local issue or a federal issue. It's a national issue. And, the United States is not doing anything to combat climate change. Like, right now, we need to get off of fucking fossil fuels, man. Like, they said back in 2019, I remember this. I wasn't even political then, but they said that we had 10 years to stop the growing effects of climate change. And now it's 2024, and we've seen Phoenix, Arizona have 100-day plus 100-degree days. And then we see two massive hurricanes decimate the southeast. Floods, like hurricanes going into the Smoky Mountains, flooding the region. Like, that's not supposed to happen. by the time a hurricane gets to that part of the country, hurricanes go inland. It usually weakens, or it's not as strong as it was when it was in the water. But that will happen. Asheville, North Carolina, still reeling from that. So yeah, y'all. I'm gonna stop talking and play this. So here we go.
Okay, got some documents I want to show you. This is the 1936 Flood Control Act. This is a Reagan executive order. This is a Clinton one. All of this is pretty much the backbone of the last 90 years of climate change in action. And it's not much to look at, I'll admit. But these few documents are a big reason our government hasn't done much to limit climate change. But I should back up for a second and start with a question. How much is the future worth to you?
Today, Milton became the strongest storm anywhere on the planet.
North Carolina is cleaning up from the worst flooding ever on record for the state.
This is an unprecedented storm.
Earlier this year, the U.S. got hit with 2 back-to-back hurricanes, Helene in North Carolina and Milton in Florida. Hundreds of people have died, entire towns have been flattened, and frankly, a lot of the footage is too horrifying to show here. Because...
yeah, like in Asheville, like, if water surrounding the city, like people couldn't evacuate. And then Interstate 40 got basically swallowed up because, again, these areas are not meant to hold all that rain. So, yeah.
Because of climate change and the fact that that means things like warmer oceans, we know that these sorts of deadly hurricanes are only going to get more intense every year. And we're going to get more wildfires, more heat waves, more floods, and more droughts. And unfortunately, this is the context in which Democrats have stopped talking about climate change almost entirely. Government-sanctioned oil and gas production levels keep hitting new highs, and according to a new study published in Science, about 96% of climate change policies are practically useless at reducing greenhouse gas emissions. And I feel like we all know why. We know that fossil fuel companies lied for decades.
Big oil, baby. I heard that Big Oil ran a campaign saying that fossil fuels does not equate to climate change. And it worked. That's probably why we got some kooks walking around the earth now thinking that climate change isn't real, because, when you pump millions and millions of dollars into a campaign saying that that's not true, like, people are people. Like, people don't do their research like they're supposed to. Like, that's probably why, us as human beings, that's why we are lost. Like, if you do your own research and, and make a good conclusion, you can find out that, we need to get off fossil fuels quickly. Oh, man, I don't even think we got 3 years left, man. 3 or 4 years. I don't even think, man. Like, Phoenix, well, really, that whole area, that southwest part of the country, getting heat waves like that, like 100, like around here, we get about 3 or 4 days of 100-degree heat, like a few years ago. That's bad on our fucking electrical grid, right? Because more people using the air conditioners. But imagine everybody using the air conditioners at the same time. Like, if you live in Phoenix, for example, like, they don't know, I know your lights were flickering, man. Had to be, so, that's not good. And do you think, I doubt it, Arizona is doing things to strengthen their power grid? Like, you'll think that. Same with Texas. Texas ain't supposed to get 2 weeks of cold where people were freezing in their homes because their power grid was fucking shit. Texas have 30 or 40 million people living there? Don't you know to strengthen your fucking power grid? Winter weather comes there, it shows up, but it's just man, yeah.
And are out there lobbying around the clock to slow down progress on climate change policy. But I want to talk about a more invisible problem keeping us in this death spiral. Something so routine.
One thing about the government officials getting that lobbyist money, while the earth burns to smithereens, that money is useless. You see what I'm saying? Like most of our government officials are old as shit, so they ain't gonna die. They say fuck the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, said Joe Biden. He look like he got one foot in the fucking grave as it is. He don't give a fuck about climate change, and so yeah.
It's not going to be a flashy government corruption case or an oil company reporting yet another year of record profits. I want to talk about a formula built into the boring, everyday operations of everyone from governments to private businesses that, for nearly a century now, has quietly justified millions of people's deaths because their lives were calculated to be practically worthless.
And then, I know I showed this a while ago, but remember when Texas, I think Governor Abbott, whatever the fuck his name is, did they sign a bill saying that cities can't mandate that the workers that are working out in that fucking heat could take mandated water breaks? Like, these motherfuckers want us to die, bro. They want to kill us off. Like, they kill us off with the food. Our food is full of fucking chemicals and forever chemicals and artificial shit. And then the climate, like, motherfuckers want you to take mandated water breaks. Like, I work out, like, I'm not big as I used to be, but I'm a pretty beefy motherfucker. If I work out in the heat, I'm a sweat like a motherfucker. Sweat like a damn slave. If I definitely need water. Like, I have to intake a lot of water because I sweat a lot when I work out. Imagine me working in the heat. I need fucking water, motherfucker. I need shade, like, but I don't care. It's all about,
This is a video about discounting functions. Maybe this will make more sense if we talk about asbestos for a second.
They called it asbestos. And science also created asbestos cement roofing.
Sound insulating product known as asbestos.
The scientists would turn to asbestos, for this is a remarkable mineral.
Asbestos is a mineral that, for decades in the US, was mostly used for things like fireproofing buildings. It was effective, pretty cheap, and, as it turns out, a massive carcinogen. But for years, most Americans didn't know that. Asbestos went up everywhere, from single-family homes to giant skyscrapers, slowly wearing down over time and causing hundreds of thousands of deadly cases of mesothelioma, asbestosis, and lung cancer. Nowadays, we tend to think of asbestos as an unlucky mistake previous generations made, an accident that we have to deal with but that no one could have seen coming. But the truth is that since at least the 1930s, the asbestos industry did know how dangerous their product was and willingly hid this from the public. They settled cases of asbestos workers getting sick out of court to keep things quiet and suppress the science that linked asbestos exposure to lung disease.
Wow, well. Corruption back in the 1930s, like, surprise. I'm not surprised. Like, you heard what he said about asbestos. It's cheap, get something that don't have carcinogens in it to fucking give you mesothelioma, that costs more money, it's all about the profit margin. See, and I know y'all remember those commercials about asbestos and mesothelioma. You can like call this number, I guess it's some kind of attorney line, and you can file for compensation or some shit like that. I remember that. That wasn't that long ago, but yeah.
Fast forward a little bit to the 1970s, and all this information comes out.
In this instance, someone apparently forgot to follow the normal procedure.
Class action lawsuits start raining down on asbestos companies, and the EPA starts to actively ban its use in things like insulation. And this raises an important regulatory question. Should this highly toxic substance that we know is behind hundreds of thousands of deaths, that is in the walls of homes, schools, and offices, be completely banned and regulated away? A question like that is a pretty routine thing for regulators to figure out. And since around the 1930s, but especially since Reagan, the correct way to answer these questions was to use what are called cost-benefit analyses. And the Reagan admin's cost-benefit analysis for asbestos found mathematical proof that it was better not to ban asbestos right away. So they didn't. and thousands more people died a preventable death. But the way they got to that conclusion is insane. Some guy working for Reagan calculated that a human life was worth about $1 million to save from the dangers of asbestos. However, because an asbestos-caused cancer takes around 30 or 40 years to show up, this advisor, Robert P. Bedell, calculated the value of saving that human life there and then as only being worth around $22,000. And when you plug that number into the EPA's cost-benefit calculations, instead of $1 million per human life, you find out that the cost of banning asbestos today far outweigh the potential benefits, which, because it takes so long to mature, take place.
Wow, so basically, because asbestos slowly kills you, right? So yeah.
Way in the future. Again, the benefit in question was stopping a horrific death by cancer. So for years and years, the government just didn't do much. Asbestos was excruciatingly slowly banned, and millions of people kept getting sick.
So basically, damn, I lost my train of thought. They rather save money today rather than spend more money to protect American people that's just trying to live in a home, like with all these carcinogens from asbestos poisoning them. Like, capitalism at its finest right there. That's a capitalist move. Heard that guy say. So instead of American person being worth $1 million, they're worth $22,000. So yeah.
You'd think we'd have learned our lesson by now, but that's no different than how the government is treating climate change today. Like the asbestos people, the fossil fuel industry knew for years that they were killing us. They kept it hidden, we found out, and now that we know with certainty how screwed we could be if we do nothing or even just not enough, the government is dragging its feet and running calculations that justify not doing much because, it's not worth it. And if you can stomach like 30 seconds of...
Yeah, just kill a few people. Hey, a few thousand people, hell, why not, you know? We don't care about those people, you know. That's how they feel about you guys. Like the government don't give a fuck about you. You know, if you think these people care about you, then why are you struggling financially? Why like your job? Like, why you don't have higher wages? Like, why you don't have health care? Like, we talking about health care lately for the last 2 weeks. We don't have health care, guaranteed health care in this country. So, and you think they give a fuck about asbestos because it slowly kills you? Like, so basically it says take 30 or 40 years to show up in your body. So you 20 years old, you've been exposed to it. So you 60 years old, so you might not live to 70. Like, a lot of people in their 70s are healthy as a horse. So, you know, people want to live long, happy lives, but the government say, see, we'll let you live because, you know, it take a long time to come in your body. So, you know, yeah.
Math real quick, I can explain how this actually works in practice. I just do have to get this boring part out of the way. So, the way the Reagan admin calculated the value of a human life down from $1 million to just $22,000 was using what's called a discounting function. Look something like this. You have your benefits and your costs at the top, and what we care about is that letter R at the bottom. That is the discount rate, R for rate. And the bigger that number is, the less your life is worth in the future. For example, with a 1.4% discount rate, after 36.5 years, future people are worth just 3/5 of a person's worth today. With a 3% rate, a future person just 17 years from now is worth 3/5 of a person today. Or to put it a different way, if something is worth $100 in 100 years, not accounting for inflation or anything, it's only worth about 80 cents today if you use a 5% discount rate. You get it. The higher the number, the less you're worth after a fixed amount of time, or less time it takes for you to become basically worthless to a regulator today. Those numbers, by the way, are from a legal case filed last year by children suing the EPA.
The group claims the EPA is discriminating against American children by intentionally allowing the release of dangerous levels of greenhouse gases, which experts say is a major contributor to climate change.
The EPA, as you probably know, has the responsibility to look at the impact of regulations and calculate the potential costs and benefits, specifically for environmental stuff, before they're enforced. Most of the time, it uses a discount rate of between 3 and 7%, meaning that a lot of projects that are absolutely necessary for curbing the worst effects of climate change are considered not worth the cost because the value assigned to the benefits, i.e. millions of people not dying from climate change, has been discounted. Those deaths are in the future. The benefits of saving those lives. Therefore, because the costs to act on it are immediate, it's often not worth it to do anything ambitious. In other words, these kids sued the EPA because their adult lives are routinely calculated to be worth less than those of an adult living today. It's a very gross thing to say, much less to make the default.
So basically, for profit and for greed, corporate greed, a human life 20 years ago would be less of a life, be less of a life now. Just to prevent from banning asbestos. That's fucking insane, bro. That's insane. You hear that, you be like, huh? But I thought the EPA, I thought the government agency is supposed to protect the people. The government is supposed to protect the people. That's the goal of the government. But as you can see,
default way the government judges whether something is worth it or not. And the worst part is that the discount rate is a totally arbitrary number. There is no objective reason for it to be 3% or 7%. It can be positive, which
basically he's saying it's bullshit,
which is what we have now and means the future and future lives matter less. Negative, meaning the future matters more. Or just zero, which would mean treating a future person, maybe even just you in a couple of years, as equal to who you are today. But earlier this year, the Biden-Harris admin recommitted to the idea that the future shouldn't be valued as highly as the present by setting the default discount rate at 2% for most government agencies. That is better than the old default of 3%, but because it's still a positive number, it still calculates future lives as worth less than lives today. It's still...
I guess the reason why it's 2% now is because, yeah, shit's about to hit the fan. That's my expectation of that. But again, ain't the goal is to regulate shit? What happened to those days of regulating?
Still justifies forgetting about meaningful climate change policies. And at this point, you might be wondering what's going on. It seems so obvious that this general approach to policy is screwing us in the long run, so why hasn't the discount rate just been brought down to zero? This next part of the video is what I'm going to call the really messed up part. To decide what discount rate to apply to policy decisions, governments use market data. In other words, when evaluating whether or not to do something, the government bases that decision on what an investor would do, using data from what investors...
Yeah, of course, right? Of course. We govern based on what our corporate donors, which is, which is part of the market, says we should do, Of course, fuck people's lives, fuck their lives, fuck life. We care about the profit motives for our donors.
Do right now. Not to mention that this method literally comes from corporate finance textbooks. Before enacting a regulation, the government basically asks whether it would hypothetically be more worthwhile to just invest that money. And the problem with that, consequences of climate change, I don't need government policy to have the best ROI. I just need it to happen. But because there's a built-in bias against the future with positive discount rates, this way of doing things not only put off the decision to act indefinitely and have what looks like an objective, mathematical justification every time. And to make matters worse, they just keep adding more things to the list of what we can apply cost-benefit analysis on, including things related to climate change.
They apply cost-benefit analysis to COVID. Still a raging pandemic going on, and they'll rather put people back out to work without any protections like HEPA filters, masks, high-quality masks, treatment, COVID treatments. I ain't talking about the jab. The jab is a controversial topic. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about treatments for COVID. Like, those ain't free. COVID test is not free. HEPA air purifiers are not cheap. Like, this stuff is not cheap. Like, and if you're a working class person, like my friend who works in a grocery store, she's out in the elements, so yeah, the cost benefit analysis of that is, hey, fuck our workers. Let's just protect, let's protect our profits instead of protecting the workers and say fuck the profits. I want our workers to be safe, happy, and healthy. But
discounting assumes we can easily reduce the complexity of life and the uncertainty of the future into a single number. It pretends like we can just get rid of politics with math, without ever acknowledging the ideological biases of using this discounting method. Most importantly, the idea that the future should always be treated as though it's worth less. But because nobody can argue with a number, because a number erases all the little decisions you need to make to produce it, government agencies can always claim they're just following the science, when they estimate that a policy is just too expensive for what it's worth. And it gets worse. I know I warned you this part of the video was bleak, but somehow there's still more to go. Because we haven't talked about how private businesses take advantage of this yet. In 2008, oil was found here, 6 miles off the coast of Italy. The oil field was bought by a company called Rockhopper Exploration for about £30 million, and they started to prepare for drilling. That is, until protests against it caught the attention of the government and a national ban was instituted against new drilling within 12 miles of the coast. This didn't make Rockhopper too happy, so they sued the Italian government. Now, what makes this interesting is how much this British company sued the Italian government for. Instead of suing for the money they had put into the project, $30 million, Rockhopper sued for the amount of money they expected to make. And they won. The court used a discounting cash flow analysis and made the Italian government pay Rockhopper 184 million euros. What?
Holy shit. Wow. 180 million? Because, harming the environment by drill, baby, drill. Wow. Wow. See? Corruption happens at every level, man.
This means is that fossil fuel companies are just allowed to plan according to a future where they get to keep polluting as much as they want. And if anything gets in the way of that future, for example, governments doing something to protect us from certain catastrophe, they still get paid. No matter what happens, whether we curb...
That's crazy. Just, wow. Destroy the environment, destroy this beautiful earth we have, and you still get, still get paid, whether you do it or not. Wow. Wow, man, this is crazy. Wow.
Pollution or not, they come out on top. And this acts as a huge disincentive for governments trying to get us on the right track. It means that government calculations may now need to include what investors think they deserve in the cost column, regardless of what actually matters most for the survival of society as a whole. Hurting a company's profits, even those that don't exist yet, even those that come directly from destroying the environment, is apparently just too much. Keep in mind, Rockhopper didn't even have anything to take down or anybody to lay off. It was still too early for that. The only thing they had was shareholder expectations. None of this, by the way, is to say that discounting is inherently bad. If discounting had, for example, been used to value the damages this drilling project would cause the local population, maybe it would have made it unprofitable for Rockhopper. If the company had been forced to pay the 184 million euros they clearly value the oil field at instead of the 30 million they did pay, maybe they would have reconsidered. The problem with the current use of discounting, though, is that 1. It replaces a political debate about who gets what when with a formula that claims to produce the absolute truth. A truth that reinforces whatever the power dynamics of the present are and sets them in stone for the future. 2. It makes it seem like the future is something we need to invest in, and therefore need to sacrifice for. That if we can save the money now, it'll be worth more to us later. But that's not true. We can and should act.
But did we just according to that other formula, did it say basically the goal is to make the future worth less so that, you know, hey, we can make the most profit now, then he's saying that, you know, the opposite. See? Oh my God, man.
Act on climate change right now because it sucks right now. Because pulling more fossil fuels out of the earth means destroying local environments, tons of pollution, tons of poorly paid people working brutal jobs. All that matters for our politics is whether or not we can do something about it. And we're lucky in that we actually can. The solutions are available to us. But if we start thinking like investors, we start putting the power and profits of capitalists above those real concerns and our real ability to do anything. There's no reason to wait. In fact, we can't afford it.
So yeah, y'all. Wow, that's bleak. Oh man, yeah. You know, profits come before the people, come before the environment. You know, I will say this, and I'm gonna end this. Sorry for the color, y'all. I know I look rough as shit. Wow, I look ugly, man. I need some better lighting. But anyway, so yeah, y'all, that's the show. I hate to end that off on a bleak term. And I hate I had to come out and say the stuff I said about that guy. It shouldn't even have to get to this point. If you only say that, hey, I don't want to do it, I don't care. Like, you know, it's other people that are willing to do it. Shout out to Left Independent. Hopefully, we'll start doing stuff with him next year. You know, might as well wait till next year because there's no point of, you know, doing things now like it's the holidays and people trying to hang with family and all that shit. I don't have no family, so I ain't got nobody to hang. So, and also too, y'all, I got a special announcement. I will continue to do shows this week, but next week, the ATP network will not be doing any live streams. Only thing you'll see is just clips. So be prepared for a whole lot of clips in the next week. So yeah, y'all. Thank you guys so much for watching the Good Faith Show. Shameless plugs again. Support Trina. Cash App is K Brand Stein 4. And y'all know Ty Peasant, her Cash App, Liz4285. So thank you guys again for supporting me, supporting ATV Network, and see you guys on the next